We spend over $300 billion a year at fast food chains in America and almost never read the label. The CDC says 48 million of us get sick from foodborne illness annually. Today we're ranking 10 chains we trust too easily, plus a verdict board and 60-second protocol. Number 10 is KFC. KFC is where a lot of us learned that dinner could come in a bucket. It's family night, road trip food, Sunday backup, and that Colonel Sanders face still makes it feel like somebody's grandmother is working the fryer in the back. But that's the story. The food is a different conversation. Chicken is one of the least forgiving proteins in fast food. Raw poultry needs strict cold storage, full cooking temperatures, clean surfaces, and hot holding that actually holds. The CDC has consistently linked poultry to foodborne illness risk, and when a chain is moving chicken through thousands of locations simultaneously, every boring back-of-house detail matters. Then there's the meal math. KFC isn't just chicken, it's chicken plus breading, fryer oil, biscuits, mashed potatoes, gravy, sauces, and soda. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium a day, ideally 1,500 for most adults. One fried chicken meal can push us close to that before we've touched the sides. The real issue is the gap between the memory and the product. The memory says secret recipe. The reality says fried, salted, held, boxed, and scaled across a global Yum brand system. We're not eating the Colonel's kitchen. We're eating a platform built to make chicken taste identical in Kentucky, California, and a mall food court. When fried chicken becomes a weekly habit, the pattern adds up faster than the receipt. Number 9 is Popeyes. Popeyes might have the strongest flavor shield in fast food. Red beans, biscuits, spicy chicken, Louisiana branding, the whole thing feels like it came from a real place with real food history. We don't just taste chicken, we taste the idea of somewhere specific, but Popeyes is part of Restaurant Brands International, the same corporate parent as Burger King. While the brand sells Louisiana comfort, the business runs like a giant fast food portfolio under the same pressure every big chain faces: move fast, keep costs controlled, and serve more people with fewer slow moments. Fried chicken at Popeyes brings the same problems every time: heavy breading, salty seasoning, fryer oil, biscuits, sauces, and sweet drinks stacked together fast. A 3-piece tender meal can land around 1,300 to 1,400 milligrams of sodium before we add a side. That's more than half the daily sodium limit in one box. The seasoning is the magic trick. Crunch, spice, salt, heat. It keeps our mouth busy enough that if the oil is tired, the chicken is dry, or the breading is doing most of the flavor work, the experience still shouts over the problem. When demand exploded during the chicken sandwich craze, kitchens were slammed well beyond their design. Rushed kitchens make holding times stretch, oil get pushed, and mistakes get easier. Popeyes tastes like comfort. Our body processes sodium, oil, and whatever happened in that kitchen before the bag hit the counter. Number 8 is Domino. Domino's is the chain we call when we don't want to think. We're tired, the kids are hungry, the game is on, nobody wants dishes, and pizza feels like the easiest decision in America, but easy is exactly how Domino's gets us. Pizza doesn't feel like fast food the way a burger does. We put it on the table, everyone grabs slices, and nobody counts because it's shared food. That's the trick. Shared food makes overdoing it feel normal. A regular pepperoni slice can sit around 600 milligrams of sodium, depending on the crust and build. 3 slices can push close to 1,800 milligrams before we've touched the garlic dip, wings, cheesy bread, or soda. And most of us don't order Domino's for 1 slice and a salad. We order because we want the whole box on the couch. Then there's the processed meat reality. Pepperoni is processed meat, and the WHO classifies processed meat as carcinogenic to humans when consumed regularly because of colorectal cancer evidence. One pizza night isn't the same as a daily smoking habit, but pepperoni pizza as a weekly routine is not just harmless fun. Domino's also built its comeback on speed and technology. Tracker, rewards, late night deals, quick ordering. That's smart business. It also means we can order a high sodium meal faster than we can make a sandwich at home. We call it family dinner. The label calls it processed meat on refined crust. Number 7 is Burger King. Burger King built its entire identity on 2 words, flame broiled. That phrase makes the Whopper feel more real than the average fast food burger. We picture smoke, heat, grill marks, and something closer to a backyard cookout than a drive-through window. But here's the food verdict question. If the meal still comes from an industrial fast food system, how much does the grill image actually protect us? Big chains depend on massive supplier networks, franchise execution, and ingredients moving through complicated systems. The 2024 McDonald's Quarter Pounder E. coli outbreak, linked to slivered onions, showed exactly how connected these systems can be behind the logos. The FDA said recalled onions went to McDonald's and other food service customers. Burger King didn't cause that outbreak, but when supply chains overlap, a contaminated ingredient doesn't check whose mascot is on the bag, then there's the regular meal. A Whopper with cheese, fries, sauce, and a soda doesn't feel extreme because we've seen it forever, but it's a full stack of sodium, saturated fat, refined carbs, and sugar. Add bacon, onion rings, or a shake, and we're not grabbing lunch anymore. We're asking our body to process a full fast food event. Burger King and Popeyes share the same parent company, restaurant brands, international, different cravings, same business logic, same pressure to keep the kitchen moving. The grill mark is the story, the receipt is the reality. Number 6 is Wendy's. Wendy's might have the most effective slogan in the burger business, fresh, never frozen. We've heard it for years and it sounds cleaner, smarter, and more honest than the competition. That's exactly why it works. And to be fair, Wendy's does use fresh, never frozen beef for its hamburgers in the contiguous United States. That's a real operational choice, not just a tagline. But here's where we get tricked. Fresh, never frozen isn't the same as healthy, low sodium, or impossible to mishandle. A Dave single can land around 590 calories and over 1,000 milligrams of sodium, depending on the build. That's just the burger. Add fries and a drink, and the fresh beef promise becomes one small part of a much heavier meal. The beef may not be frozen, but the bun, cheese, mayo, ketchup, fries, soda, and salt still count. The slogan also doesn't cover the whole restaurant. It doesn't protect the chicken sandwich, the Frosty, the fries, or every franchise crew on every shift. Fresh beef still needs refrigerated trucks, proper storage, clean grills, and careful handling. Fresh food can actually spoil faster when the system gets lazy. Wendy's feels like the mature burger choice. The square patty, the baked potato, the chili. But if our order ends up as a bacon burger, fries, nuggets, and a Frosty, we didn't beat fast food. We just picked the chain that made fast food sound fresher. Now we're halfway through and the pattern's already obvious. KFC sells family memory while running an industrial chicken system. Popeyes sells culture while the sodium stacks quietly. Domino's turns a sodium-heavy processed meat meal into family dinner. Burger King sells a grill image while supply chains stay connected behind the logos. Wendy's sells fresh beef while the rest of the meal does exactly what every other fast food combo does. Here's exactly where every chain lands. Take a screenshot because this is your cheat sheet before the next drive-thru. Number 5 is Starbucks. Starbucks is the chain that doesn't look like fast food because it comes with soft lighting and laptop energy. We don't say we're getting fast food, we say we're getting coffee. That one word reframes everything, but Starbucks is the second biggest quick service restaurant chain in America by sales, and a lot of what it sells now is not coffee in any simple sense. It's dessert in a cup, breakfast in plastic, and sugar dressed up as self-care and productivity. A grande caramel frappuccino has 380 calories and 54 grams of sugar. The FDA daily value for added sugar is 50 grams on a 2,000 calorie diet. One grande drink can clear the entire daily added sugar benchmark before breakfast is finished. And because it's coffee coated, we don't treat it like dessert. We carry it into the car at 9 a.m. like it's part of being a functional adult. That's the Starbucks trap. It doesn't feel like a bad food decision. It feels like a treat that fits our schedule, but our blood sugar doesn't care about the green logo. It still gets hit with syrup, sweetened base, whipped cream, and a drink that has more sugar than most actual desserts. Then there's the food case. Pastries, cake pops, breakfast sandwiches, banana bread, and sweet refreshers turn the coffee run into a full meal without us noticing. Plain coffee isn't the issue. The issue is that Starbucks built a daily habit around drinks that look like coffee and function like milkshakes. Number 4 is Subway. Subway raised a generation on the idea that a sandwich was the smart fast food choice. We walked in, saw lettuce behind glass, watched someone assemble our food in front of us, and felt like we'd won. We weren't ordering fries, we weren't getting nuggets, we were choosing a sandwich, and that felt mature. But Subway's entire genius was making processed food feel fresh through visible assembly. The bread issue still matters. In 2020, Ireland's Supreme Court ruled that Subway's bread didn't meet the country's legal definition of bread for a tax purpose because the sugar content was too high under that law. That ruling was specific to Irish law, but the gap between image and reality traveled everywhere. Then there are the meats. Subway's menu depends heavily on cold cuts, and the WHO classifies processed meat as carcinogenic to humans when consumed regularly. One turkey sandwich isn't a crisis. Making deli meat our daily lunch routine is not the clean habit the brand wanted us to believe. Subway also lets us build a meal that feels responsible while quietly becoming a sodium bomb. Footlong bread, processed meat, cheese, multiple sauces, chips, and a soda puts us right back in fast food territory. The difference is that we feel proud while ordering it. Visible lettuce isn't the same as clean food. It never was. Number 3 is Chipotle. Chipotle is the one people want to defend. Bowls, beans, rice, salsa, grilled meat, guacamole. Compared with a burger bag, it feels like a responsible decision. That's exactly why it ranks this high. Chipotle sold us food with integrity. Then in 2020, the Department of Justice announced that Chipotle agreed to pay a $25 million fine to resolve criminal charges tied to foodborne illness outbreaks that sickened more than 1,100 people between 2015 and 2018. That's not a viral social media complaint. That's federal action on a documented pattern. The hard truth is that fresh ingredients can actually be riskier when the systems behind them aren't excellent. Chipotle's model depends on chopped produce, cooked proteins, salsas, cheese, dairy, and guacamole, all sitting in an open line during a lunch rush. Temperature, timing, hand washing, and employee illness discipline matter every single minute. A burger chain cooks a patty and hands it off. Chipotle runs an entire ingredient bar simultaneously. Then we overbuild the bowl because it feels clean. Rice, beans, chicken, cheese, sour cream, queso, guac, corn salsa, chips. Suddenly, the healthy choice has more sodium and calories than the burger meal we were avoiding. Chipotle changed food safety systems after those outbreak years, and that matters. But Food Verdict is about trust, not forgiveness. The guacamole still looks fresh. The $25 million case doesn't disappear. Number 2 is Taco Bell. Taco Bell understands our weakest food decisions better than almost any chain in America. Late night, long shifts, road trips, college budgets, stressful days. Taco Bell doesn't ask us to believe it's healthy. It just makes the food feel fun enough that we stop caring what it actually is. Start with the seasoned beef. Taco Bell says it uses 100% USDA inspected beef before seasoning, and its published recipe says the finished product includes ingredients like water, oats, maltodextrin, soy lecithin, modified cornstarch, and silicon dioxide. Silicon dioxide is approved for food use as an anti-caking agent. The real point isn't panic over one ingredient. The real point is expectation. We think taco meat. The system thinks formula. Then we order too much because each item feels small. One taco doesn't sound like a meal. So we add a burrito, nachos, a cheesy item, and a soda. Now the bag is full of refined carbs, sodium, processed cheese sauce, seasoned meat, and fried shells. Cheap at the window, not cheap for our body. Taco Bell belongs to Yum Brands, the same parent company as KFC. One corporation catches us with fried chicken nostalgia and late night taco cravings. Different cravings, same fast food math. The brand jokes first. It makes the food feel unserious, but our blood pressure is serious. Our blood sugar is serious. Eating from the late night app 3 times a week is serious. And number 1 is McDonald's. McDonald's has to be number 1 because it isn't just a fast food chain, it's American food infrastructure. According to QSR's 2025 ranking, McDonald's led the country with about $53.5 billion in 2024 U.S. sales. When a chain is that large, every ingredient issue and menu pattern becomes a national habit. That scale is exactly why the 2024 Quarter Pounder outbreak matters. The CDC closed the investigation with 104 E. coli illnesses, 34 hospitalizations, and 1 death across 14 states, with data pointing to fresh slivered onions as the likely source. One ingredient, one menu item, 14 states. That's the hidden cost of size. The everyday numbers are just as serious. McDonald's serves about 3.6 billion servings of fries per year in the U.S., over 1.6 billion pounds. That's not an occasional treat. That's one of the biggest single eating habits in the country. The meal pattern is what gets us. We don't usually order one thing. We order the combo: burger, fries, soda, nuggets, sauce, maybe a McFlurry, sodium, refined starch, saturated fat, sugar, and fried oil, all working together with almost no fiber to slow any of it down. McDonald's has improved some ingredients over the years. Improvement isn't the same as trust. The Golden Arches don't just sell burgers, they sell permission. Food Verdict says it's time to stop giving that permission on autopilot. Before we pull into any drive-thru or open any delivery app, here's what we check. 5 things under 60 seconds. Now you know. 48 million of us get sick from foodborne illness every year, and we eat fast food billions of times a week without asking a single question. Some of the biggest outbreaks in recent memory have logos we recognize immediately. KFC and Popeyes sell comfort while the sodium stacks quietly. Domino's turns processed meat and refined crust into family dinner. Burger King and Wendy's sell an image the ingredient list can't always back up. Starbucks turned dessert into a morning routine. Subway made processed food feel responsible through visible assembly. Chipotle built its brand on integrity and paid $25 million in federal fines. Taco Bell decided the smartest move was making us stop caring entirely. McDonald's became so big that one bad ingredient became national news across 14 states. We don't have to pretend we'll never use a drive-thru again. We live in America. Sometimes dinner happens in the car because life is life, but we can stop giving every chain the same automatic trust. Drop the chain that suddenly looks different in the comments. Subscribe, check the label before the logo convinces you, and keep rising.